Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, or whomever may stumble across this video. My name is Tim Crawford, and I am a freshman at Arizona State University. I will be choosing a debate today on immigration reform in the context of the US as well as abroad in Europe. This is for my POS 160 class under the supervision of Dr. Ripley. Let it be known that the ideas presented are mine and do not necessarily reflect those of the professor. I'd like to start off by saying immigration is one of the fundamental building blocks that makes America what it is today. We grew as a nation on immigrants, and we have grown through immigration and have benefited through immigration in so many different ways. But this debate is not whether or not we should allow immigration, but rather how we should allow it. And my idea on this topic is that it should be at first protecting American sovereignty, and for the Europeans to protect their own sovereignty of their own borders. It is in the UN Charter that each nation has its own sovereignty and its own governing laws that it is allowed to enforce within its own borders. So with that being said, I feel as though immigration must first come from the respect of those who are governed under the rule of law before those who wish to enter it. In America, we often see becoming a citizen as becoming an American. That doesn't mean to disassociate the new immigrant with their culture, but rather to integrate them into the American culture, into our basic history, into the things that we stand for, like the flag and the Pledge of Allegiance, and simple things like that do not necessarily impede on that person's rights as an individual, but rather enhances their ability to integrate and become an American. My idea is that immigration cannot compromise national security. There's a rule of law in the United States, and that rule of law states that a legal immigrant or asylee must come through a port of entry. That means that crossing the border not through a port of entry is considered an illegal act and is therefore considered under the umbrella of illegal immigration. There's a highly debated topic on whether or not the individuals crossing the border, for say in the Mexican border, from the Mexican border to the California border, that they can be able to receive a legal asylum. My idea on that topic is that we should create multilateral campaigns established on both sides of our borders to protect the nationals on both sides, so that those who do feel threatened by outside threats such as gangs and drug territory disputes, anything like that, where they are not a criminal but rather just an innocent bystander caught in the mix, should be able to enter our country because that through legal means, because that they should not have to live through such horrendous conditions if it is not up to them. We cannot allow criminals and illicit drugs to enter our country. I have pulled up from here on my computer a chart of from the California Border Patrol, and I will be posting the links of my resources down in the description for anyone to check out if they so choose. Nearly 30,000 known criminals tried to enter the US borders in 2019. Over the past 4 years, that number starts to scratch 200,000. Now, there are millions of people trying to enter the US. So for me, this worries me because I feel as though we may have not even caught a large portion of illegal aliens who have committed crimes and who are known felons crossing our borders. I'd like to touch up just by adding a little bit to the European spectrum. There was a BBC article that refuted a German statistic that nearly 447 refugees had come into the country and had either attempted to kill somebody or had killed somebody in 2017. This number is highly debated for a lot of reasons, mainly because they basically tone it down to 27 legitimate acts. But there is a statistic on the website as well that shows that violent crimes, nearly 10% of murder suspects and nearly 12% of sexual offense suspects were asylum seekers and refugees in 2017 in Germany. This is just coming off of a single article. My research shows that these numbers can often vary from source to source. So I use the BBC as my as a trusted source, and this sheds light onto a bigger issue in the fact that we cannot tell who is coming into our countries for good reasons and who may be planning something beyond our control that they would want to do harm to our citizens. So my idea for immigration reform, and I'll leave it on this, is that we should give people the benefit of the doubt, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to give extensive background searches, and we shouldn't try to control our borders as much as possible to try and prevent those who may wish to do us harm from entering our country in the first place. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know that a lot of people will have a lot of different opinions on this, and I kind of just chose this side because I find it interesting to try and I just find it interesting to try and debate a topic on a side where there's a lot of contention towards it, but I hopefully was informational for you guys, and again, I will have my sources posted in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Dr. Ripley, for giving me this opportunity, and maybe I'll see you guys in another debate.